Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Hello, everyone. I'm Shemane Nugent. Welcome to Faith and Freedom. And y'all know my very special co-host here, Ted.
Guide and outfitter.
Thank you for joining us. And we have a very special guest. I wanted Ted to come in. You know him, you love him, we know him, we love him. He's a voice and a fighter who never stays silent. Multi-platinum country artist John Rich is back with a brand new song and video. And this time he's taking on the federal government. The Devil in the TVA isn't just a song, it's an anthem. It's about land, community, and freedom. And it's very personal. Take a look.
You don't own nothing when the government man comes around, put his dirty old boots on the ground, laughs at your protest with a gun and a bulletproof vest. He don't care what you have to say, you're just gonna do it anyway. He'll smile and grin and then take your farm away. He'll tear it all to hell right in your face. Now the devil ain't got nothing on the TV.
Welcome, John Rich. Thanks so much for joining Faith and Freedom.
Good to be with you guys. Hey, Ted, how you doing, man?
I'm doing so good at stupid. You know, Ira Dean, another Nashville country artist, has Ted Nugent guitar on the #1 song in the world, What Would Charlie Daniels Do? And I've jammed with your band, and I just wanted everybody to know that the Big and Rich band and all the best country bands are actually rhythm and blues band that would qualify for a James Brown backup. So thanks for inviting me to jam with your incredible band, John.
It was a blast, man. That was a heck of a night. And before we get started, let's let you know, Ted, you need one of these T-shirts. Make America big and rich again, baby. Come on.
Come on, Big and Rich. You know, John, we salute you because we know that it's all about God, family, country. That is the inspiration for your incredible musical career. You get that attitude and that piss and vinegar across with your music. But to take on the TVA, like I'm taking on the Department of Natural Resources and all the game agencies, God bless you for standing up against the corrupt, evil system. You're like a President Donald Trump with a guitar and a cowboy hat going against the deep state and the swamp. Tell us about that, and thank you for standing up like you do.
Well, thanks for letting me talk about it. So the TVA is the Tennessee Valley Authority, for people who don't know what that stands for. It was founded in 1933 by our most famous socialist president of all time, FDR, Roosevelt. And he set it up in 1933 where they only answer to the president of the United States, meaning a governor can't stop them, a mayor can't stop them, a senator, a congressman, no one can really overrule the TVA except for the President of the United States. And so because they have such unchecked power and ability to just ramrod anything they want, that's how they operate. They're a very strange entity because they're federal and private at the same time. And you tell me how that works. For instance, last year they profited $13.2 billion in 1 year. So they are a massive, massive energy company that's also federal and doesn't have to abide by zoning laws or anything like that. So the way this story happened was there's a little county here in Middle Tennessee called Cheatham County. I went to high school in Cheatham County. My dad has a little blueberry farm in Cheatham County. My brother raises meat chickens and strawberries in Cheatham County. I mean, I've known the people there for a very long time. And my brother was telling me, hey, John, have you heard what the TVA is trying to do in Cheatham County? I said, no, what are they doing? Guys, they were planning to put a 900 megawatt methane gas plant with 10 acres of lithium battery storage. And I don't mean lithium batteries like what's in your phone. I'm talking lithium batteries the size of a Connex, 10 acres of these things. Right on top of that map that you're looking at, which is 6,000 acres of farmland, 500 houses, 5 school districts, and the main water supply for 2 towns in that county. And I asked my brother, I said, why of all places would they put it there? And he said, TVA won't answer that question, but they're dragging everybody into court right now to sue to get access to their land. So what set me over the edge beyond what I've already told you was this part. And I know what the Nugents would do if you ran into this. I saw a video of an 88-year-old woman standing on her farm that had been in her family for more than a century. She was suffering from dementia. The TVA comes rolling up on her property, 10, 12 vehicles deep. Coming out of these trucks and cars are men in bulletproof vests, tactical gear, loaded weapons, just look like an ATF raid. They come rolling up on this lady's property. One of the next door neighbors runs out with a little GoPro camera and starts filming it. And they are demanding access to this woman's property to do destructive testing. Can you imagine that scene? Almost a 90-year-old woman facing off with guys with guns and vests. So she looks into the camera of the neighbor, like snaps out of her dementia for a few seconds. And she says, "You think you own something? You don't own nothing." Looks right in the camera. I mean, just as clear as a bell. And I said, that is a song. That is the statement of the century when it comes to TVA. You think you own something, you own it as long as they say you own it. So that led to the writing of this song, The Devil in the TVA.
So where does it stand? First of all, thank you, John. You and Ted are two of the few who will stand up and be bold and brave and speak out to defend people like your neighbor. But where does it stand right now? And follow-up question, how come none of the mainstream media is talking about this? None of any of the media.
TVA has managed to just operate in the shadows because no one has any check or balance on them other than the President of the United States. I mean, I had senators coming to me who are current sitting senators saying, we have been begging them to abandon this project for 2 years. And they basically just flip us the bird and go, what are you going to do about it? Like, there's nothing you can do to us. Get out of my way, Senator. Get out of my way, Governor. So I don't know why the media doesn't cover it, probably because there's nothing that can be done about it unless the President of the United States does something. So where it stands today is we rallied every member of that county. I started going to people's houses with my selfie stick and an iPhone. That's all I had, sitting on front porches, interviewing people on their front porches that were being sued by the TVA to gain access to their property. And a lot of these people didn't even have the resources to hire an attorney. So they're walking into court with no attorney against the TVA, who has hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of attorneys on retainer. And of course, they're getting knocked out left and right. I just started getting their stories, posting it on X, just at John Rich, going, hey, check this story out. Next thing you know, there's millions of views accruing on these videos that I'm doing. And then I get a phone call that the senior vice president of government relations would like to come to your house, John, and have a chat with you, because there's millions of people that are just not understanding the situation that you're putting these videos out. I said, oh, send that fat bastard over to my house. I know who you're talking about. Send him over here. Tell him to wipe the barbecue sauce off of his chin before he walks in my front door so he don't mess up my carpet. I said, send him on over.
Say that?
That's what I told him. Send him over. So he came over. And, you know, Ted, I know you guys remember Foghorn Leghorn from the cartoons,
Sure.
you know. This guy sounds like that. He goes, now, John, the TVA has done a lot of good things over the years, John, and it's just a misunderstanding. He's talking to me like that, and I'm getting so infuriated listening to this guy. I looked him in the eye and I said two things. I said, one, if a man had done nothing but good his entire life, then he walked up in your grandmother's front yard and slapped her across the face, would you care that he had done good things his whole life up and until that point? Or is all you would care about knocking his brains out for slapping your grandmother across the face? Well, of course, he had no answer to that. And I said, I'm going to make you a promise, make you a deal. You got 2 weeks to get out of Cheatham County. And if you don't, I'm going to take this all the way to the president. And bonus, I'm going to write a song that compares TVA to the devil. And I'm going to have millions of people singing it. I'm going to rebrand the TVA to the United States and make people fully understand what kind of tyranny you guys are raining down on people, that you step all over their Fourth Amendment rights, that you are unbridled and unchecked. That's where we went. I mean, it was Dukes up, let's go. And I think he thought I was kidding, because 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks roll by and they're still suing people, still dragging them into court. And I said, okay, we got to go big or go home. So I wrote this song, and now it's out.
I love it.
Fantastic.
John, can you stick around one more segment? Because it feels like we're just getting started here. I want to find out more. And I know Ted has some more questions, but can you stick around one more segment?
I certainly can. Love to.
Okay. Before we go, though, Ted and I want to talk to you about another patriot, Mike Lindell, and everyone at My Pillow. They want to thank you for your support. Mike's on a mission. He wants to help you get the best night's sleep ever. Right, Ted?
Yeah, we supported all of Mike Lindell's MyPillow.com forever. We got the dog beds and the slippers.
The dogs love the dog beds and the towels and the.
It's just a great product. Plus, he's a lot like John Rich and like President Trump and like me and hellraisers across this country. He's always stood up for God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights. MyPillow.com is a great American success story, and we need to support Mike Lindell because he's always on the front lines for the very family values that we all cherish and that the big state is always crushing.
MyPillow.com and use the promo code FAITH. And if your order's over $100, this is crazy, but you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. So you can call 1-800-933-6972. We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.
Hallelujah.
Welcome back. We're here with John Rich and my husband, Ted Nugent. John, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're just getting into the story, and I want to find out, you talked about the TVA. What is the consensus with your friends and neighbors? Are they still plowing forward? Are they going to make this work? Or are we, the people, going to be able to stand up against the government and make a difference like we should?
So I actually have some shockingly good news. So the people of Cheatham County, me coming in, raising that much cane about this, got on the radar just off of X. I still call it Twitter, but just off of X, got on the radar of Secretary Rollins, who's the head of USDA, Department of Agriculture. And she reached out to me. I did not know her, never met her. She tracked me down and said, John, how much farmland is in harm's way over this project? I said, about 6,000 acres. She goes, you know what? I'm going to take a look at this. So she did. And then I got to President Trump and I let him know what was going on. He said, yeah, that does not sound right. He goes, you know, I'm currently firing most of the board members of the TVA anyway, and we're going to put in some actual patriots. He goes, this project is not going to happen. And then Secretary Rollins said, we're not going to allow this to happen in Cheatham County. And so guess what? The TVA finally went online, went on social media and say, we're abandoning the project due to listening to our constituents and our customers. Yeah. Right. That's why they did it. I don't care why they did it, but they're out. And it's the first time we can find on record in recent history where citizens were able to raise enough ruckus to actually get the TVA to back off of a project. So we saved around 500 homes, 6,000 acres of land, 5 schools, 5 school districts, the main water supply of this place. I mean, you see that video that you guys showed a little bit earlier. That's the actual land where they were going to land this sucker down on top of on top of all these people. I mean, it's not like it's out in the middle of nowhere and nobody's ever going to see it. It's literally in the middle of all those parcels you're looking at right there. So what I'm hoping to see in the future is while President Trump is in office and we get a new board in at the TVA, that we see some drastic changes happen. You should not be able in the United States of America to show up with guns and bulletproof vests on people's property, demand access to their property, and when they don't give it to you, drag them into court, sue them, condemn their land, then take their land for 5 to 10 cents on the dollar and run them off of land that's been in their family for 100 years. That is not American. Matter of fact, I asked the guy from TVA when he came to meet me if Xi Jinping was one of their secret board members. I said, because this is the most communistic I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it infuriated me to see that going on in America. So kudos to President Trump, Secretary Rollins, and all those regular farmers out there in Cheatham County that pushed back on this thing and got it to end.
Well, John, I've always loved you because you have a great attitude and a work ethic, but ultimately you're a real American. And the only real American is a hell-raising American, an American who questions all authority, especially in these days and time where we finally have a commander-in-chief that is fighting against the entrenched corruption, the criminality. I consider it treasonous that a Tennessee Valley authority abuses that authority. And John, let me tell you, this is important. I'm going to have this recording on my Real America Voice Spirit Campfire, because because what you're identifying, John Rich, in your home state of Tennessee is rampant in all 50 states. In Texas, they're trying to drain water from natural reservoirs from croplands into some private gazillionaires, energy business, which I'm a big fan of energy business. I'm a big fan of entrepreneurs and businessmen, but you can't dominate we the people. What you've done, John, is proven that one smart-ass country and western guitar playing singing guy can stand up, galvanize we the people in a region against tyranny and abusive power and make a difference. I'm doing it in all 50 states in the departments of natural resources, the game departments. There's not one game department in America that has proper science-based real-world wildlife regulations. And what John Rich did to the TVA, Ted Nugent's going to do to every one of these game departments to make sure that God's miraculous wildlife creation is respected based on the science. So John Rich, I've loved you forever, but boy, I love you even more now. Thanks for raising hell. That's the identity of a true American, questioning abuse of power and putting an end to it. God bless you, Rich.
I appreciate it. I'm like you guys. I cannot stand to see people abused that cannot defend themselves. I mean, just standing there wide open and there's nothing they can do. They don't have the resources or the platform to really put up a good defense. I just couldn't stand it. It reminded me of my Granny Rich when I saw that old woman say, you think you own something, but you don't own nothing. So the whole video is now out. You can see it on Rumble at John Rich Official, YouTube at John Rich. It's on my X account. You'll see the old lady in the video. I actually start the video with that footage of her looking in the camera saying, you think you own something, but you don't own nothing. And Ted, that's the first line of the chorus. How cool is that? That something that was said in real time by just a regular old American lady is now being heard by millions of people.
Well, the best music comes from an emotional heart and soul, from a we the people, independent, rugged individualism standpoint. And I'm sure the image and the words of that old lady, I'm a big fan of old ladies because I'm an old man, and I like people that have lived that American dream and then stand up against abusive power. That's what I'm doing to the jackbooted animal rights people at the Texas Parks and Wildlife, at the Michigan DNR, the Wisconsin DNR, the Minnesota DNR, where they're causing deer farmers to go in and slaughter these innocent baby deer, perfectly healthy, beautiful baby deer, slaughtering them by law because some animal rights goon in the game department doesn't want deer hunting. It's the chronic waste and disease scam is the same thing you've run up against with the Tennessee Valley Authority. So I'm not backing down. John Rich, you've been an inspiration. And again, I wish I would have wrote Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. I should have wrote I Can't Drive 55. I should have wrote Street Fighting Man, but I wrote Wango Tango, so I'm catching up.
I would love to see you two. Ted's now a country music artist.
Oh boy.
Come on now.
Ira Dean, #1. What would Charlie Daniels do? How cool is that?
You guys got to get together and write some music because, country music, I don't know how many times you've had this conversation about Ted behind his back, but do you and your buddies ever go, Ted really is a country music artist?
Toby Keith said that the Fred Bear song was the best country song in the world.
Ted, big and rich, like you played with our band. So the kind of energy that we bolted on to our brand of country music. And there's a lot of Ted Nugent and what Big and Rich does. That kind of energy is there, man. So you've always been a legend and a hero. And I do think now, you're probably a country music guy at this point. You're definitely in the ranks of the Charlie Daniels and the others that came along and rock country music harder than most people did. So
John,
you're in the club.
When it comes to country music, I'm a farmer. I'm a rancher.
Hunter?
I plant trees. I'm a hunter. I'm a trapper. I'm a fisherman. I kill my own food. I gut my own animals. I hang them and I butcher
God,
them.
family, country.
It's so simple. So we really are a blood brotherhood, but especially when you take that and you don't hide from controversy, you see injustice. And you take whatever, as an individual, whether you were a welder or a country star, you would have done the same thing you did, but you're using the energy and resources that John Rich has available to him, which is what everybody can do. And you have galvanized the people in that home county of yours, that the farmers, the welders, the ranchers, the mechanics, the gunsmith, the taxidermists, they're all standing up because John Rich went, hey, everybody, this is not right. We need to make it right.
Yeah, I hope that this story with Cheatham County does serve as an example that if everybody comes unified loud enough, that you can raise enough racket. If it's egregious what's happening to you, if it's stepping on your constitutional rights, and you are willing to go all in, I mean all in, you can't go halfway and beat something as big as that. That you can actually push them back. Liberty or Death was not a website. Liberty or
Yeah.
Death was not a subscription service. It wasn't a hashtag, a bumper sticker, or a T-shirt, or a ball cap. Liberty or Death was the phrase and the attitude that it took to found our country in the first place. They are the reason we even still have a country to argue about. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I think it bears repeating. In 2025, Americans can still have the attitude of give me liberty or give me death. It's our constitutional right, the right to pursue happiness, the right to life and liberty, inalienable rights that are not given to you by man. They're recognized by the government that they were given to you by God. You go all the way back to John Locke and Montesquieu, all the guys that Thomas Jefferson and Madison were spewing off of that were brilliant people that wanted freedom. That is still alive in our country today. It's just being stepped on. And thank God Trump is there and people like Secretary Rollins who are proactive, who will return your phone call, who will actually reach out to you because they see it's a problem and make something happen on behalf of we the people. That's the devil in the TVA in a nutshell.
John,
Ditto.
we only have about less than a minute left. You helped launch Old Glory Bank with Dr. Ben Carson and Larry Elder. Why was that important to you?
Because when we saw Justin Trudeau kill the trucker strike by freezing everyone's bank accounts, so that's how they eventually stopped that. You know, we all thought that's going to happen in America someday. I mean, there are communist socialists in America that would love the thought of freezing Ted Nugent's bank account, of freezing John Rich's bank account. And they want to do that. And the banks, the woke banks in America, they'll do that if the federal government tells them to do it. So we thought it was critical that we create a new banking platform that would recognize your constitutional rights. And the entire credo behind Old Glory Bank is you will never be canceled for exercising your constitutional rights. What a concept. But the bank is absolutely exploding. We're now into mortgages and small business loans. People are moving away from Bank of America and Chase and all those woke banks. They're moving in mass over to Old Glory Bank. It's oldglorybank.com. It takes about 8 minutes to do an account. And guess what? If you call the 1-800 number, an American citizen answers the phone and you can actually understand what they're saying. It's unbelievable.
We love it. We're going to post that number. John, thank you so much for joining Ted and I. God bless you. Thank you again for standing up for God, family, and country.
I love to you and yours, John. Godspeed, buddy.
You too, sir. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. Okay, we are out for our daily
celebrating the great spirit of the wild outdoors.
A lot of people realize that we are hunters. We love to hunt and we love to have pure, lean venison. We're not always successful. So what do we do, Ted?
Switch to America with Shemane beef.
We're going to actually go home and have a ribeye right now. We pulled it out to thaw, and I'm super excited because we've both been out hunting. It's tough. It's not like you can go, okay, God, cue the deer.
I think I got 29 days in a row that the deer have avoided me. I don't know why that is, but we have switched to America with Shemane beef to compensate for the days that the deer don't show up. Get the best, healthiest, natural beef in the world. I swear we believe in this stuff, and what goes into the sacred temple determines your quality of life and health. And quality beef, like Switch to America with Shemane beef, is the best you can eat.
Now Jackson's way up there. We got to go catch him. And now, have you heard about the screwworms? You definitely need to go to switchtoamericawithshemane.com and check out this clean grass-fed beef Ted and I pretty much have every day. We love it. Okay. Moving right along, our kids, they're not just confused, they're being deliberately misled from TikTok to the Bop House. I'm not even sure what that is, but online predators, we all know this, they're grooming people. They're grooming children, especially girls, for a lifestyle of exploitation, and then they're calling it empowerment. Some churches are not even going to touch it. But if we don't speak the truth, who will? Joining me now is Dr. Alex McFarland, author, apologetics expert, and a voice for faith in a world that's lost its way. Alex, welcome.
Shemane, it's a great honor to be on. Thank you for having me.
Okay, what's the Bop House, and why is it being called a pipeline to OnlyFans?
Wow. It's just one of those many digital platforms that has content that really seems to reel kids in. And I mean, do you know, I was just reading in preparation for our conversation today that whether it be on a tablet or a smartphone or a laptop, kids are spending 6 to 9 hours a day staring at a screen. And you know, it's almost like a drug. I mean, the way the body operates, where something is exciting or maybe even funny, but then it's engaging, and there's continually more and more explicit content that is being shared. And then there's the promise of monetizing a channel. And what's so sad is there are kids that are underage, although it's inappropriate at any age, but creating pornography, putting it online, thinking they'll make money, thinking they'll become famous. And it's just very pernicious. It's one more reason that parents need to monitor what their kids are watching online.
I was sitting next to my grandson, and I really didn't understand what he was doing. He was on an iPad. And I'm like, what is that game? And it was called Minecraft. And I'm asking questions like, how does it, you got to eat meat, and you got to kill something, and you got to do this and do that and build a house, and then you got to sleep. It's consuming them, and it's taking the placement of parenting. And it's like you said, it's setting our kids up for disaster. How do we fix this?
Well, you know, moms and dads need to set boundaries. And Shemane, you know, the future of this nation, I love America. I think America is a country ordained by God. We've got this unique, wonderful system called a constitutional republic. And America is so worth fighting for. But the two entities that I believe God gave to preserve this nation, one is the family and the other is the church. And we need to become champions for both of those. And let me say to moms and dads, you as the parent have to set boundaries. And you know, I realize that the tablet and the screen can be kind of a babysitter. But moms and dads, you don't want your kids to miss life while they're just staring at a screen. Shemane, let me say this. Besides, you know, the porn and the security and really privacy that gets violated as kids just willingly give up their data information that should be really, you know, private information. And, you know, God forbid they put images of themselves on screen that are inappropriate. But besides all that, the spiritual and the psychological dangers of the internet, there's just missing life when we could be outdoors. We could be exercising and running or experiencing nature, learning how to fish or hunt or play baseball. I'm old school. I grew up, you know, at a certain age of childhood. I grew up on a farm in North Carolina, and I love that. But then there's baseball and there's sports. And there's so many things that we miss if we spend our life, the best years of our life, just like a zombie staring at a screen.
And you know, mom, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, mom and dad, you've got to set boundaries on the use of technology. Otherwise, it will absorb us.
The time frame. Years ago, when my son was in high school, so he's 35 now, he went to an inner city school, and he invited his friends to come over and just hang out for the night. And I read him the riot act, obviously, no drinking, all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
The next morning, I was shocked when I was making my coffee, and I'm looking out the window that we have a pond behind our house. And I'm looking out the window, drinking a cup of coffee. And there's not sure what politically correct I should follow, but African-American Black kid fishing. And I'm like, this is awesome. And they came into the house and they were like, this was the best. We had the best time. Thank you so much. We need to get our kids off of this. And here's something I want to share with you. I want to also get into spiritual warfare. You got a retreat coming up with Charlie Kirk, but riddle me this, Alex. The name of most of the phones that we have is an apple. Are we not bowing to the apple?
Once again, a beautiful, beautiful connection there. I mean, not beautiful, but from Genesis chapter 3, it said Adam and Eve bit the apple and humanity has had a toothache ever since. Yeah. Once again, our downfall is related to some forbidden fruit, right? And also, let me just say this, folks. Social media and influencers, it's not real. I mean, we just, Shemane had 7 youth camps, 1,200 teenagers over the summer. We do this every summer. And so many kids have like body image issues and frankly, inferiority complex and even jealousy. And I want to say, what you see on social media of people, quote, living their best life now and everybody's beautiful and everything is just wonderful. It's not real. I mean, it's filtered, it's photoshopped. What's real is, number one, to know God, but then relationships and family. And I want to just challenge the parents. Look, I know as parents, kids, they want things they want, but we have to help them, for one thing, understand that life is stewardship. I mean, God entrusts us life, and we have time, and we have abilities, and we have influence, and we have money and resources. And part of the stewardship of one's life is to realize that it's not all about me. Life is not about me being this self-absorbed narcissist, but it's the joy of serving God, loving family, learning accountability. And I want to say this too, mealtime and church attendance. And I know I'm probably sounding like a preacher up on a soapbox, and I am really, but what made this nation great, I mean, think about it, Shemane. If 2025 were 1776, we wouldn't have the greatest nation on earth, America. But what made America great, and it worked for over 2 centuries, was family and accountability. And the parent leads, the children follow. Then we go to church, and we realize that part of being a human is to worship God, our Savior, and to stop our world. And I want to challenge moms and dads to set the rhythms and the patterns that will contribute to your child becoming the great whole soul leader that Jesus intended. And just living, kids are even sleeping with their mobile device.
It's unbelievable. And it's interrupting their sleep, their health issues. Alex, I've only got about a minute left. And I want to touch on, you've got Charlie Kirk coming to your next retreat, and you're calling this a spiritual war on the next generation. Talk about that. Talk about this retreat. Where can people find out more? Again, I got to wrap up in about 30 seconds. So,
okay. Just alexmcfarland.com. We do a series called Conversations That Matter. We've got Lauren Green of Fox News coming, the International Ambassador for Religious Freedom from the Trump West Wing, September 14. We've got a big event, October 3 and 4. But yes, check it out. I'm on the road, coming soon to a city near you. Folks, pray, promote, plan to attend.
I need to send you my book. I have a book called Abundantly Well. It's a 40-day wellness devotional. I need to send that to you.
May I interview you on our radio show?
Absolutely. I would love it. And we didn't even get into too much spiritual warfare. Alex, you're going to have to come back. Can you come back sometime?
Well, thank you. Hey, let's go save a nation.
Yes, I'm with you. Dr. Alex McFarland, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, everybody, I'm here every week, Faith and Freedom. And I always end the show. I know it's not ending just yet, but with Esther 4:14, you were born for such a time as this. And you were. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. I think you're really going to like this one. Brickhouse Nutrition's Labor Day sale just went live for a few days only, and you can save 25% on everything with code Labor Day 25 ! Start fall off strong, reboot your health, and save big. And let me tell you what I'm going to be stocking up on. Field of Greens. It's my daily go-to, and the super fruit and vegetable drink that promises that your doctor is going to notice improved health, or you get your money back. Kick off fall feeling stronger than ever and more confident than ever. So head over to brickhousenutrition.com. Use code LaborDay25 for 25% off. That's brickhousenutrition.com. Code LaborDay25, brickhousenutrition.com. My next guest is a best-selling author, a proud mom, a dog mom, and the co-host of American Sunrise on Real America's Voice. Dr. Gina Loudon has never been afraid to speak boldly, and now she's bringing that same courage to children's literature with her new book, The Days of Creation by Heart. And in a culture trying to erase God from this conversation, this book is going to help families anchor their kids in faith, no matter what the world says. Dr. Gina, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Shemane. What a huge honor to be on your show of all people. I remember you and I talking about this show conceptually, going way back. Who knew what a resounding success you would make it, because that's what you do. You put your best into everything. And so it's an honor. Thank you for having me.
And you are responsible for this. So thank you.
Oh, I could hardly say that at all, but I was definitely honored to get to be there as you were formulating the whole thing and implementing it. So that's great.
So let's talk about your book. The left is flooding schools with confusion, and you wrote a children's book about creation. I love that.
Yes, well, I have to credit my co-author, Dr. James Mosley, at Liberty University, and he has been fantastic. He and I, one day after he was just doing the show, we call him the Bible history guy on the morning show, if any of our viewers here happen to watch. And he and I were just having a conversation about how much we loved reading to our kids when they were little, how we think that made a difference in keeping our kids close to our hearts as they grew, and how important that one scripture is to train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Shemane, you know this, but it really is a secret to successful parenting. As simple as it sounds, it really is a secret. And we were talking about how so many of the books we read to our children as children that they all know now. My kids still tease me about this. They're like, Mama, we know Good Night Moon, and Mama, we know one berry, two berry, pick me a blueberry. But why didn't you have us memorize scripture? Why didn't you have us memorize Bible verses? So Jim and I were talking about that and decided that's something we wanted to do. So we collaborated with the animator from VeggieTales, a man named Mike Sofka, and we put together this interactive book that's different from any you'll ever see. It's the first also in a series of 17 books we have produced, Shemane, all called Bible by Heart. And the first one that we've just released is The Days of Creation.
All right. Can we adults read this too?
I mean, you can. It's written for children. It's written on a level where they will be able to memorize little things. I don't want to call them mnemonic devices because technically they're not, but they're in the same vein as a mnemonic device in that they'll help give children rhymes and skills so they can always reference it quickly, because we know the things we memorize when we're little, right, are the things that we really remember. So we all remember RST, LNE, right? We all remember all the little mnemonic devices we had in our life. Well, that's what we're trying to provide for kids to memorize scriptures. So this one is The Days of Creation, so that they'll be able to remember that. But we have the Proverbs 31 woman. We have the books of the Bible in order. We just the tribes, all the different things that you wish you had memorized when you were a child, or that maybe you wish you'd gone over with your children. They're all included. And then we put an interactive part at the end, because one of the things I realized that I treasure most are the books that my children drew in or wrote in while they were learning and absorbing the information I was reading to them. And at the time, I didn't think it was very cute, right? We were all those parents who were like, oh, you wrote in the book. But this book is made to write in. Yes, this one is made to write in. And we provide special pages just for that. And then you can give it as a gift to a grandmother or an aunt who the child loves to read with. So it becomes a gift from the child to that person.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm about to be a grandmother any second. Literally, my son and his wife are expecting their first child. Last week was her due date. So it's any day now. I'm going to have to get these books. Gina, thank you so much for what you're doing, for being bold and brave and putting your faith out there. You're an Esther. You know that, right?
You are, girl. And I'll say this, and your audience knows this. You are going to be the most gorgeous. Let's just get that out of the way. Sweetest, most loving grandmother of all time. I can't even believe you're going to be a grandma because you look 25, but congratulations to your son, his wife, and your whole family. This is just very exciting news. And I'd be more than happy to get some books to you.
Yes, I want those books. I need to get those. How can people find the books? And are you prepared to talk about the other product that we were going to talk about?
I can talk a little bit about that. Yes.
Okay, talk a little bit about, I've got about a minute left. So take it away, Gina.
All right. Well, you can get the books anywhere good books are sold. We are distributed by Simon & Schuster, and so they're easy to find, and you can find them anywhere, including Amazon and all the places. But the other project that I'm working on very collaboratively, I'll be able to get this out, Shemane, I do this professionally, is a book regarding all of the lies we've been told about healthcare and all of the innovations that are on the precipice of our country right now. And it's very exciting with Bobby Kennedy doing what he's doing. This book will be called Mad Medicine. It's a follow-up to my book called Mad Politics that I did a couple of years ago. This one will uncover things I promise you didn't know and you've never read any place else. And included as a contributor will be our very own beautiful and very, very smart Shemane Nugent. So I'm excited to include you, but I have biotech innovators, I have functional medicine docs, and all the rest. And so it's going to be a very groundbreaking book that RFK has already agreed to write for, and so write a recommendation for. And so I'm very excited to release that.
I'm so excited about this because we're not talking about the health of our children. We're setting them up for disaster if we don't address what's contributing to this autism and ADD. And one of the things Robert Kennedy talked about is toxic mold. And you and I have discussed that. So thank you so much, Gina, for doing that. I can't wait till it comes out. Can't wait to be involved. And I'm so grateful to have you as a friend and that you're here really on my show. Thank you.
That's the best part. And thank you for all of your support with everything that I do. And you and your husband have been longtime just mentors and good friends and supporters for all that I've done since I was first starting out. So I will never forget that.
Well, thank you, Gina. Thanks for joining me. And go get her books. And where can people find you on social media?
At Real Dr. Gina.
Real Dr. Gina. All right, Gina, we'll talk soon. Thanks again. God bless you.
God bless.
Well, you probably didn't see this, but she had a dog sitting next to her, and we've had National Dog Day. Hey, since we are on the topic of pets, I don't know if you know this, but Ted and I have some exciting news. And if you know us, you know we love our dogs. They're not just animals, they're part of the family. And after years of searching for clean, effective supplements for our dogs, we take them. Why shouldn't our dogs take them? We finally decided to create our own. Uncle Ted's Natural Canine Supplements are powered by bioflavonoids that are plant-based, boost to help your dog stay sharp, strong, and healthy. We use them daily, and our dogs are thriving. Head to getuncleteds.com to learn more. And before we go, I want to share a few other of my favorite things, a few of my other favorite things that have really made a difference for me and my family. They're not just products. I actually use them, love them, and trust them. So let's start with skincare. A lot of people ask me, what do you do? I'm 63, and I'm all about living toxin free. 80%, 20% of what I do and what I eat, I'll admit I like Fritos. but I want to put good skincare products on my skin. And if you care about using organics, you're taking supplements, you've got to check out Row Casa Organics. Everything they make is clean, natural, non-toxic. I use their face serum, their muscle balm, even their sleep support. And it's honestly my go-to. Just go to rowcasaorganics.com/Shemane and use the promo code FAITH for a discount. And I want to talk to you about one other thing. Guys, we've got so much going on, but check out my website. I've got new updates, new programs coming soon. It's ShemaneNugent.rocks, ROCKS. I'll be here every week. I hope you will too. God bless you. And remember Esther 4:14.
Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world.
Perhaps you were born for such a time as this.